Sitting alongside our special in-studio guest this week, the one, the only, from, where are you from?
Timbuktu.
That doesn't roll off the tongue as easily as something I've heard you say a few times.
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Ah, yes, up in Titletown. Titletown or Tinseltown? Titletown.
Titletown.
Ken Anderson, ladies and gentlemen.
West,
You've been to both, though.
I have.
Spent some time in Tinseltown.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for visiting us here in Milwaukee and joining us here on the Pro Wrestling Report. Now, Ken, there's a lot going on in your world, a lot of news, if you will, and I'm gonna just sort of throw it to you. Well, you know, I read the stuff on the internet.
What do you read? Because I don't read any of it. It's fantastic.
Well, I'm gonna frame this in a series of questions,
okay.
And everyone out there is gonna be looking very forward to your answers. So, firstly, Ken, tell us what is going on in your world, your life right now with you and TNA Impact Wrestling.
I'm done with them.
Done.
Done.
Gone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, a series of questions.
Okay, please, shoot.
TNA Wrestling and Ken Anderson no longer together, if you will.
Right, yeah.
All right. What do you want to tell us about the situation? What happened?
No, it's just an amicable separation.
Time to go?
Yeah, time to go. I've been there for 6 years. It's time to just sort of, you know what, I'm really enjoying. I've been doing so much independent work over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff overseas, and it's time.
Just got back from the UK a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just there for 2 weeks. So just gonna chill and
work on your own schedule?
Yeah, exactly.
Now tell us about that.
I feel like for the first time in 6 years, for the first time in really my life, I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
In a sense, and that's kind of nice.
Tell us about that. We hear a lot of people say that what you just said, which is rather do indies, going to do my own thing, be my own boss. How much better is it to take those independent bookings as opposed to being tied contractually to an individual company?
I mean, obviously the reach, you don't have the same reach. You're not touching as many viewers and things like that, but it's something, there's something special about going back to the independents and being in front of those small crowds and having that interaction, that one-on-one with them that you don't get when you're working in front of a television audience.
Yeah, more intimate?
Yeah, definitely. I like intimacy, man.
That is tremendous. What was your favorite moment in TNA Impact Wrestling in the 6 years that you spent there? Obviously, you were world champion at a time in that company.
Yeah, honestly, it was probably the stuff that I did with Kurt, the cage match that we had, which was my first year there, I think. I did some great stuff, I thought. Or, you know, I'm not saying I did great stuff, but it was fun stuff with Sting and the stuff that I did with Bully Ray. And I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff that I did with people will always ask me, like, what's your favorite? And it's really hard to narrow down because I like working with different people under different circumstances for different reasons, right?
Okay, who was your favorite opponent? I know you just said don't ask that, but I did. Who did you enjoy working with most in your time in TNA?
Well, I mean, Kurt really, I felt, pushed me. He pushes everybody.
He pushes himself.
Cyborg. Literally. That Psychotron by Megadeth is written for him.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, well.
Is that R&B?
Yep, country.
Oh, I'm certainly not familiar.
Megadeth. You've never heard of the country music? Okay, anyway. Yeah. He pushes you to a different level. When you get in the ring with Kurt Angle, it's like you just go. There is no rest. There is no stop and catch your breath. It's kill or be killed. And I kind of like that. It's pushing.
Excellent. Well, sorry to see you go from TNA, but happy to hear that you're happy in your next venture, which is doing the independent circuit. Now, you've also dabbled in as we talked about Tinseltown earlier, you've also dabbled in the acting world. Anything coming up on that front?
Yeah, I'm just stirring pots and see. That's a tough business to break into.
It is.
And I signed on with an agency early on, right after I left WWE, and that agent thought that I was going to be able to circumvent a lot of the dues paying process because of the wrestling audience that I had built in. And it turns out that nobody in Hollywood really gives a crap about wrestling. So,
do they view it as...
Even though you've got one of the most successful guy in Hollywood right now is a former wrestler.
Yeah.
Batista's doing really well.
Right.
Cena. So you've got guys that are somewhat successful in that realm, and they still will not look at a pro wrestler. If you say that you are a pro wrestler, they immediately say, well, thanks for coming, pal. Stick out the hand. So.
Now, if WWE were to ring your telephone
I mean,
and offer you the opportunity to come back on a, whether part-time or full-time basis, is that something you would entertain at this point?
I guess I'd entertain just about anything right now. I'd just at least think about it.
Yeah, see what they have to offer?
Yeah.
You are a former Mr. Money in the Bank, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you currently probably still sort of technically are, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, always a pleasure to have you in studio. Ken Anderson, thank you so much for coming down and joining us. We look forward to seeing you all over the world at events that you choose to attend, not those that you're sent to, which is a great place to be.
I like it.
Ken, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.